Karen had my marked police patrol vehicle towed from my own driveway, claiming it was an unauthorized commercial vehicle. But when my police chief arrived and explained she had just caused the theft of a city-owned law enforcement vehicle, she learned the hard way that towing a squad car isn't an HOA violation, it's felony grand theft auto. My name is Walter, and I'm a patrol officer with the Richmond, Virginia Police Department. I've been on the job for over 11 years, working multiple shifts and assignments across the city. Like many officers, I'm issued a take-home patrol vehicle. This isn't a perk, it's department policy. It allows for faster emergency response and provides a visible police presence in residential neighborhoods. I live in Riverside Gardens, a subdivision on the west side of Richmond that was built in 2010. It's a quiet, mixed neighborhood, families, retirees, and working professionals. The WA mostly handles landscaping and maintenance and generally stays out of residents' personal business. I've lived there for 6 years, and my neighbors have always known I'm a police officer. My patrol car has been parked in my driveway the entire time. The vehicle itself couldn't be more obvious. It's a fully marked Richmond police cruiser, white with blue striping, a light bar on top, city seals on both doors, and the word, police, clearly visible from multiple angles. There is no reasonable way to mistake it for anything else. For 6 years, no one had an issue. That changed 3 months ago when a new neighbor moved in 4 houses down. Almost immediately, she began complaining about everything: kids playing outside, dogs barking, boats in driveways, work trucks on private property. She quickly positioned herself as the self-appointed rule enforcer of the neighborhood. Soon enough, her attention turned to my patrol vehicle. About 2 weeks after she moved in, I found a handwritten note tucked under my windshield wiper. It claimed commercial vehicles weren't allowed under WA rules and demanded the vehicle be removed. I ignored it. A police cruiser isn't a commercial vehicle, it's a government emergency vehicle and typically exempt from such restrictions. A week later, another note appeared. This one was more aggressive. It warned that the vehicle would be towed if it wasn't removed immediately. That's when I contacted the HOA's property management company to make sure everything was clear. The property manager confirmed there was no issue, that police vehicles were permitted, and that the complaining resident had already been told she had no authority to request a tow. I thanked him and assumed the situation was over. It wasn't. After working an overnight shift from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m., I came home exhausted, parked my patrol car in the driveway like always, and went inside to sleep. When I woke up later that afternoon, something immediately felt wrong. My patrol car was gone. At first, I thought the department might have retrieved it for maintenance or reassignment, but there had been no notification. I contacted my sergeant, who confirmed the department hadn't touched the vehicle. A few minutes later, we found out what happened. A towing company had removed the vehicle earlier that day after receiving a call from someone claiming to represent the WA, reporting an unauthorized commercial vehicle. No authority was verified, no questions were asked, despite the vehicle being clearly marked as a police cruiser. I drove to the impound lot in my personal car and identified myself. The towing company admitted they acted solely on the WA caller's request. They even attempted to charge towing and storage fees. That conversation ended quickly. After several phone calls and a very uncomfortable realization on their end, the patrol vehicle was released immediately. I inspected it on the spot and documented visible damage caused by improper towing. The following morning, I met with department leadership and provided a full account. Their response was immediate. This wasn't a misunderstanding or an HOA dispute, this was the unauthorized removal of city-owned law enforcement property. An investigation was opened. Detectives confirmed that the woman who ordered the tow had been explicitly told by WA management that she had no authority and that police vehicles were exempt. Despite that, she falsely claimed authority and ordered the tow anyway. A few days later, officers went to her door. By the end of that interaction, she finally understood what she had done. Ordering a police vehicle towed isn't enforcing WA rules, it's committing a serious crime. She was arrested and charged. Facing felony charges related to the theft and damage of city property, she eventually accepted a plea deal that included jail time, probation, restitution, fines, and community service. She was immediately removed from the WA board. Not long after serving part of her sentence, she sold her home and moved out of state. The WA issued a formal apology, clarifying that her actions were unauthorized and directly against their guidance. A new board president personally visited to apologize and reaffirm their support for officers parking take-home vehicles at home. Today, I still live in the same house. I still park my patrol car in the same driveway. The minor damage from the tow is still there, a reminder that entitlement and overreach can quickly turn into criminal consequences. And WA rule violation is one thing. Towing a marked police vehicle is something else entirely. Sometimes, the car you order towed isn't just a vehicle, it's government property protected by law, and that phone call becomes evidence of a felony. By the time I parked my patrol car back in the driveway, the situation had already gone far beyond an HOA dispute. What should have been a quiet afternoon had turned into a department-level issue, and everyone understood the seriousness of what had happened. The next morning, I was called into headquarters. I met with the police chief and a captain from internal operations. I laid everything out. When the notes appeared, my call to the WA management company, the unauthorized tow, and the damage to the vehicle. I also provided photos and the towing company's paperwork. The room went quiet. The chief wasn't angry at me. He was angry that a marked police cruiser, city-owned property, had been taken from an officer's driveway without authorization. That kind of action doesn't fall under civil disputes or law enforcement. It falls under criminal law. An investigation was opened immediately. A detective was assigned to review the towing company's call logs and WA communications. It didn't take long to uncover the key detail. The woman who ordered the tow had falsely claimed to be acting with WA authority, despite being explicitly told she had none. Even worse, the towing company confirmed she insisted the vehicle was just a commercial car and needed to be removed immediately. A fully marked police cruiser. A few days later, while I was on duty, detectives went to her house. According to the report I later received, she answered the door confident and irritated, assuming this was still an HOA issue. That confidence didn't last long. Once detectives explained why they were there and what she had actually done, her tone changed completely. She tried to argue that she was just enforcing the rules. That argument collapsed quickly. She had been told police vehicles were exempt. She had been told she had no authority. She ordered the tow anyway. By causing a city-owned patrol vehicle to be removed and impounded, she had initiated the theft of government property. The value of the vehicle alone pushed the case into felony territory. She was arrested that same day. The charges were serious, and suddenly the WA notes and complaints didn't matter anymore. This wasn't about parking. It was about knowingly crossing a legal line. Her attorney later tried to claim she misunderstood her authority, but the evidence told a different story. Emails, phone records, and witness statements showed she had been clearly informed and chose to act anyway. The prosecution didn't go easy. Faced with overwhelming evidence, she eventually accepted a plea deal. The outcome included jail time, probation, restitution for vehicle damage, fines, and mandatory community service. The WA removed her from any position immediately after the arrest. Not long after serving part of her sentence, she sold her house. She left the neighborhood, then the city, eventually, the state. The WA board issued a formal apology to both me and the police department, clarifying that her actions were unauthorized and directly against WA guidance. A new board president personally came to my home to apologize and assure me that law enforcement officers were fully supported. Since then, things have been quiet. I still park my patrol car in the driveway every day. The scratches from the tow are still visible, a reminder that authority, imagined or real, doesn't override the law. And WA can write rules. It can issue fines. It can send letters. But it cannot tow a police vehicle. And sometimes, the moment someone realizes that comes far too late.